The United States and Israel just targeted critical oil infrastructure in Iran. Geopolitical tensions are on the rise, and ships are not passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Desalination plants are also being a target in the Middle East. The situation is absolutely out of control. So if you hold XRP or any cryptocurrency, make sure to watch this video until the end. With geopolitical tensions getting worse by the minute, what that means for cryptocurrencies, what that means for XRP, and how can you protect your portfolio. This will be a critical markets update. And in this video, unlike most cryptocurrency analysts, I'm not focusing on the charts. I'm not even looking at BTC chart today. Well, I'm going to start with the most obvious outcome of this war. No ships are passing through the Strait of Hormuz. So oil is already trading above $100 in the futures markets. So there is a high chance tomorrow oil is going to be effectively above $100. And this is not only about oil. Food and water supply in the Middle East is absolutely at risk. Japan, for example, imports 80% of its oil directly from the Strait of Hormuz. And yes, the majority of people are talking about the oil, but they are missing out on water and food and supplies. Nearly 80% of sulfur also passes through the Strait of Hormuz. And without sulfur, you also don't get any sulfuric acid, which means there will be a copper shortage. Without sulfur, you don't have sulfuric acid, which is essential for the extraction of copper. And if the world runs out of copper, there is a massive industrial crash. Without copper, you simply crash the industry. So I highly recommend everyone to check on copper. What that means for crypto? Well, essentially the stock market is about to crash. If the Strait of Hormuz stays closed for another 2 weeks, I predict a major crash in the S&P 500. The US financial markets are going down, and it will take risk assets with it. So this war is fundamentally very bad for digital assets. Don't fall for the narrative. This is not bullish for BTC. Most cryptocurrencies won't ever recover. Fundamentally, XRP remains one of the few digital assets that will recover in the long term. And with a liquidity crisis on the rise, XRP is fundamentally set to rise from the ashes, a liquidity provider for financial institutions. And here is where it gets wild. There is another scenario that nobody's talking about. Forget about international law. War crimes, nobody cares anymore. This war has no boundaries, which it means that we are now at a major threat of cyber attacks. A major cyber attack in the financial system could take down the preeminent messaging system of the financial system. Iran is already kicked out of SWIFT, so it is Russia. So this makes SWIFT the perfect target of an Iranian cyber attack. And honestly, knowing the other sides, we can also have a false flag operation. Perhaps Mossad itself is going to target SWIFT. So get this, I'm not picking up sides. I am just being objective. And as a matter of fact, SWIFT is at risk. And if SWIFT goes down, central banks and financial institutions are going to find an alternative. They need a fast and reliable system that can handle trillions of dollars in seconds. A fast and reliable blockchain that does not rely on the internet itself, that can process thousands of transactions per second without downtime. And that blockchain is precisely the XRP ledger. They will not rely on BTC. You can't process thousands of transactions on BTC without downtime. And for over a decade, Ripple has built the liquidity rails to ensure XRP operates seamlessly as a global reserve currency. So here's my advice. Expect high volatility. XRP might even trade below $1 in the next 2 weeks. It's not looking great on the short term. Stay away from leverage. War is not good for risk assets in the short term. XRP status as a risk asset will only change once XRP becomes the invisible plumbing of the new financial system. This might be the black swan event we have been talking for years. So here is the mistake. Here's what you should not do. This is not a financial advice, but I would not be selling XRP now in the hope it will drop below $1, even though there's a high chance we're going to see XRP below $1. But here's the deal. Once there is high volatility, panic in the markets, there is a high chance you will not even be able to buy XRP below $1. Heavy buy orders in place. For me, this is the time to buy, not the time to sell. Regardless if we are going to drop below $1, which I give a high chance that XRP is going to be below $1 in the next weeks to come, there is a higher probability that retail is not even be able to buy XRP below $1. You need to have buy orders in place. I have openly mentioned my buy orders are around 70 cents and 75 cents. Actually, slightly above 70 cents. I want to outperform other bidders. And here's the deal. Most cryptocurrencies will never recover. Stay away from speculation. Focus on utility coins. And here's my most important piece of advice. Make sure you are sitting on a large cash position. If there is a major crash, you need to have liquidity. This puts you in the unique position of buying utility assets for discounted prices. With every crisis there comes opportunity, but if you have no liquidity on the sidelines, you can't participate in the greatest transfer of wealth. You're gonna just be watching the crisis unfold without being able to actively participate and take advantage. This is why I have been shrinking my crypto portfolio in the last 15 months. I got rid of projects that have no intrinsic value. This has been my strategy for the past year. I have been shrinking my portfolio, increasing my liquidity, working hard so that I could be sitting on a massive cash position. So make sure to have your buy orders in place. Make sure you have liquidity sitting on the sidelines. This is not yet the time to go all in. I'm waiting for the S&P 500 meltdown. And as the war unfolds, I'm going to be capitalizing on this transformation. No, I am not excited about the geopolitical tensions, but if I can make a choice, I'm going to at least profit from this transformation so that I can help others and I can help my family and I can help myself. Stay away from leverage. Keep an eye at the geopolitical tensions. Forget about charts. Crypto charts right now are just a mirror of what's happening in the Middle East, in the Strait of Hormuz, and most importantly, in the S&P 500. This is the moment to avoid high-risk decisions. I think there will be a massive accumulation opportunity ahead, but you can only participate in this opportunity if you have cash sitting on the sidelines. Make sure you don't take stupid decisions right now. Don't liquidate your portfolio, for God's sake. How are you going to buy XRP at 70 cents if you are doing high leverage trading right now? Do you think they're going to allow you to profit from volatility? This is not the moment to burn yourself on the markets. Otherwise, when there is a correction, you're going to be crying. Avoid high-risk decisions at all costs. This is not the moment to be liquidated. If you get impatient and you get burned in the markets right now, how are you going to buy the correction? How are you going to buy the dip? I don't want to hear from you in the comments when XRP is at 70 cents. If that happens, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is a high probability. Your impatience is going to come with a high price. I don't want anyone in the comments telling me that they have no liquidity on the sidelines to buy the dip, and with high volatility on the horizon, it will be a major stress test for cryptocurrency exchanges. Don't leave your assets on the line. Make sure you have a cold wallet. Don't take unnecessary risks. This is not the time to have cryptocurrencies sitting in centralized exchanges. High volatility means the markets are going to be under stress. And you need to make sure you are doing the opposite of what the majority are doing. When everyone's going to be in panic because XRP is below $1, that's the time I'm going to be loading up my bags. This is time for wealth preservation. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. Are you bullish about XRP adoption? Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna see you in the next video.